I found a small, quiet room a bit farther away from everyone in the program so I could record these short interviews. With every interview, I'm even more amazed at how simple my question is, how deep it cuts through, and how diverse are the answers I hear back. Sometimes issues or ideas overlapped, but overall, not a single answer repeated itself. Far from it. Mira sits in front of me with the biggest smile. We met in this program and have known each other for only a week. But through this interview, Mira and I realized just how close we've become. Interview number 5.
I can remember a moment where I felt fully seen and heard, but it was by myself, in the sense of me realizing a fundamental part of who I am and allowing it to exist, not rejecting it.
I Think I Saw You is a podcast dedicated to exploring our human disappearance. Every episode features an interview with a different person. In this season, I recorded the participants and faculty members of the program Generation J, each of whom reflected on their own thoughts and experiences of disappearance. I think I saw you, Mira, right when you disappeared.
I was in my room and I was watching some YouTube whatever, and the Katy Perry fireworks music video came out, and I clicked on it, and there's one scene where there was a man in a bar, and he goes up to someone else in the bar and they start talking, and then eventually they kiss, and it was with another man. And that was the first time I ever witnessed any such thing in my life, any queer interaction, any gay interaction. And I suddenly was like, boom, realized for myself what this means, that there are gay people in the world. It's not just me. People from my background in modern Orthodox, where no one really spoke about being queer, and if they did, it was with this disgust kind of, or this sense of, but that doesn't happen here, that type of thing. And I realized in that moment, I'm not alone, and this is part of who I am, and if they can do it, I can do it, basically. There was a moment where I felt fully disappeared, like I wasn't seen at all, and it was kind of someone else talking, someone else's face, someone else's body in the conversation. And that was when I finally had the courage to tell people I really want to pursue the arts. And I was like, I feel so alive when, I did this Mary Poppins play in school, and I had a very small part, and even just that, I felt so happy and also kind of seen. And the reaction was, oh, well, how can you do that and keep Shabbat? How can you do that and raise a husband and children? Raise a husband, basically, yeah. How can you do that and live a nice Jewish life? And I basically started answering, oh yeah, you're right, maybe this isn't really my passion. This is just kind of something that was fun as a hobby. And I do really like science, which is true. I think if I had it my way, science would be the hobby and the arts would be my main, thing. But in that moment, I heard myself being like, yes, I want to be a doctor, and yeah, I want to have kids and love them and be there for them as I should. And I want to have a husband as I should. Oh, cool, good talk. Well, that dream was dead, and that's okay, and I'm fine. Yeah, this isn't me. This is someone else talking. That was the way I coped with it. But I heard myself saying, yeah, never mind. Forget that. I think there's this, I'm trying to think how to word this. There are these two parts of an individual. The part that they show on the outside, the part that interacts with the outside world, and the inner universe that exists within them. And for me, a lot of my growing up, a large portion of my life was basically, it felt like wearing a jumpsuit. Not just a costume, not just a mask. It was the entire body. Full face was covered, my eyes were covered, everything was covered. And that was who I was, walking around in this jumpsuit, like a Corona, like one of those. And I think that the place of disappearance is when the jumpsuit is kind of not just like a thin piece of plastic over your skin, but becomes thicker and thicker and thicker. And the inside part of you in this inside universe shrinks and becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. And growing up and being allowed to be who I am, because I'm an adult now and I can make my own decisions and I'm allowed to live. And it's this tension of pulling and pushing at the same time. And it's very difficult. And it's really easy to slip back into this place of, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, I don't belong. The imagery I have in my head of this is a big, big, big room that's completely dark, with one small child crying facing a corner, like in the timeout kind of. And as the space gets bigger, meaning the inside is kind of diminishing, like the contrast is getting worse. And yeah, growing up and not being allowed, not letting that child speak, not letting that child turn around, keeping the child in timeout is this place of disappearing. Because it's also not gone. It's not like the child suddenly isn't there anymore. Like, it's still there. They're still there. They're just facing the corner and they're in a fetal position and crying. And yeah, shedding light on that is really hard. I think that my experiences feeling locked away, alone and unseen, and then being able to get out of that and knowing others who couldn't. I think that experience is so inspiring to myself, and know that I can do it. I can do tomorrow. I can survive tomorrow, because I never expected to get to this age. It was not in my plans. Inviting someone to that place, I think, would include inviting the someone who would go there, I think, would be an older version of myself. So if that crying child is a 5-year-old, which it is, then the 12-year-old can come and comfort it. And the 12-year-old will cry too. And then the 18-year-old who escaped can come and be like, we escaped. And then the 21-year-old can come in and help them. And as this happens, the room is less alone, less dark. And I think each person has this concept of their inner child weeping. And it takes the adult in us to help them. Yeah. And it's really hard to be an adult and a kid at the same time. But you can do it. We can do it. My name is Mira. I'm in my last semester of my neuroscience degree, and I love art.
I Think I Saw You is created, produced, recorded, designed, and edited by me, Eyal Davidovitch. Original music was also composed and performed by me. Mixing and additional sound design by Jan Brett. The podcast is supported by Paideia, the European Institute for Jewish Studies in Sweden. For more information, follow Art and Time Machines on Instagram and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform. Before you disappear, just a quick note. Bringing these stories to life has been an incredible journey, but there's still a long way to go to cover the costs. If you'd like to help keep this project going, please consider supporting it at ko-fi.com/I think I saw you. Thank you